His story begins as follows. His father was born in Gatchina near St. Petersburg in 1891, while his mother was born in Moscow in 1904. His parents had not escaped the atrocities of what was referred to as mass repression. Indeed, the author's parents met as a result of Siberian exile, which drew a substantial number of people during Stalin's leadership. When the scent of Kolymna reached Novosibirsk, the poet's parents recognized that the Feinberg surname was not right for surviving the German troops during the Second World War. 2 pieces of paper were put in poet's 3-year-old brother's hat. The first writes Chisinau, where the second was Tashkent. The Feinberg family's eldest son picked Tashkent, which rescued the whole Feinberg family. Consequently, they arrived in Tashkent in 1937, and 2 years later, on November 2, 1939, the Russian and Uzbek poet Alexander Arkadievich Feinberg was born in Tashkent. Alexander was a smart, blue-eyed, and handsome boy from a brunette family. His childhood was spent on the former Zhukovsky Street. Alexander Feinberg studied at Tashkent Topographic College after graduating from a 7-year school. At school age, the well-known poet begins to demonstrate his potential. When Alexander Feinberg's reading of Pushkin's works surprised and captivated everyone, the poet's peers were conducting a monotonous conversation about the poems. Alexander's voice was alive and distinctive, and whenever he said something, he immediately assumed a position, bringing the image and occurrences to reality, just like in a movie. Even before that, he could sense the significance of each word and the poem's rhythm. Feinberg exemplified the friendly linkage that existed between the Uzbek and Russian peoples. After graduating from technical college, he served in the military in Tajikistan to protect his masculinity in his homeland. Afterwards, he was accepted into Tashkent universities, now the State National University of Uzbekistan, Faculty of Correspondence, Philology Journalism Department, where he worked for the university newspaper. In 1961, he met Inna Glebovna Koval, his future wife, a talented journalist with a high level of education and intelligence. She always becomes the poet Alexander Feinberg's first reader and honest critic. We can still see the proof that the poets choose a trustworthy partnership, since Inna Glebovna remains to effectively communicate the poet's work to fans today. Alexander graduated from Tashkent State University in 1965 with a degree in journalism. His work is extremely variegated. He has also written books that have been published in Tashkent, Moscow, and St. Petersburg. Alexander Feinberg is undoubtedly one of the Uzbek poetry's brightest stars. Among Uzbek fans and poets, his name and work are absolutely irreplaceable. His poems have appeared in publications such as Change, Yus Yunus, New World, Новый мир, Eastern Star, Звезда Востока, and New Volga, Новая Volga, as well as internationally published in periodicals, magazines of the United States, Canada, and Israel. He was engaged by the Writers' Union of Uzbekistan after the publication of his first poetry collection, Etudia. He served as a consultant for the Uzbekistan Writers' Union from 1965 to 1967. Etude, Second, Poems, Four Bridges, Answer, Shortwave, Spreading Net, and Free Sonnets are among his 15 published collections of poetry in Tashkent, Moscow, and St. Petersburg. Giving into very contemporary literature, he was really quite acceptable in Soviet times. Feinberg was on the list of famous poets at the time, including Andrei Voznesiensky and Rimma Kazakova. In Feinberg's poetry, the historical and contemporary periods, the West and the East, nationalism and internationalism, were combined to create a distinct aesthetic realm. Feinberg's lyrical protagonist is a compassionate individual who has been able to fully preserve his human qualities in the moments of historical and social catastrophes. He is always willing to offer a help hand and who suffers from the world's unpleasant circumstances. Feinberg's poetry is a confluence of Russian and European poets' outstanding artistic accomplishments. The tradition of classical Eastern poetry are not stranger to his creative style. Artistic translation is yet another prominent feature of Feinberg's approach. Alexander Feinberg, a remarkable translator, has introduced Russian-speaking readers to several masterpieces by well-known Uzbek poets. Alexander's work features a variety of creative translations, Alisher Navoi's epics and poems, as well as other current Uzbek poets' works have been translated into Russian by the poet, who is well versed in Uzbek poetry. In Moscow, Erkan Wahidov's epic Rebellious of Spirits was published, which spans a collection of poems by Abdullah Aripov, Hosseat Rustamova, Sirajuddin Said, and Aman Matchad, was published in Tashkent. It's noteworthy that Alexander Feinberg's poems were translated into Uzbek and published under the name Jigar. The poet's publication opportunity was shut down for 7 years on one day owing to his non-standard behavior, and this circumstance inspired him to generate film scripts. A total of 4 feature films and 20 animated features have been produced. He has made 7 feature films at the Uzbek film studio My Brother, Under the Hot Sun, Held in Kandahar, and Criminals and Justified at the Tajik film studio. The film Stadium in the Sky, based on his storyline, was produced in 1999 on the 20th anniversary of the tragic death of the Pakhtakor football team in an aircraft accident. The lyrics for the film were written by Alexander Feinberg in 1979. Alexander Arkadievich Feinberg died on October 14, 2009 at his home in Tashkent. He was buried in the communist part of Botkin Cemetery in Tashkent. No action goes unmentioned in our world. Just a wicked person is punished. A decent person gets the rewards of his or her good acts. Feinberg's contributions to Russian and Uzbek literature in particular didn't go unnoticed. During the writer's lifetime, his efforts bore fruit. Despite the fact that the writer died 12 years ago, his work continues to bear fruit. Alexander Feinberg was awarded the title of Honored Worker of Culture by the Republic of Uzbekistan. In acknowledgement of many years of productive work, a considerable contribution to the development of literature, and constructive participation in public affairs, Alexander was awarded the People's Poet of the Republic of Uzbekistan. Alexander Arkadievich Feinberg, the People's Poet of Uzbekistan, was given the Pushkin Medal by presidential decree. He made a significant contribution to establishment of cultural links between Russia and Uzbekistan, received the Pushkin's Medal for his contributions to literature at the Uzbek State Academic Russian Drama Theater. A new project had been developed to create a unified literary and architectural ensemble in the Alley of Writers in 2020. At that moment, is planned to erect the studio of 23 writers in the bank. These are Ali Sharnawi, Zahir Muhammad Babar, Abahi Mukimi Furqat, Abdullah Avlani, Muhammad Hoja Behbudi, Abdullah Qadri, Jolpon Oybek, Hamid Alamjan and Sulfia, Abdullah Kahor, Saeed Ahmad and Saeeda Zunnunova, Ghafoor Ghulam, Azad Sharafuddinov, Erkin Wahidov, Abdullah Aripov, Ibrahim Yusupov, Talib Bergan Kai Berganov, Alexander Feinberg, and Muhammad Yusuf are a whole ensemble. All in all, it's obvious that the presence of a studio of Alexander Arkadievich Feinberg in the Alley of Writers is one of the boundless respect of Uzbekistan for the writers and his work.